Prime Minister, and welcome to the Central Coast. It's great to see you here. Thank you. And also, Paul, thanks for bringing Paul Murray live to Gosford. Fantastic, mate.
Happy to help.
So my question is also about electricity supply and how much we need. So in Australia, with more than 20 million cars registered, and with the transition to electric cars, as many car manufacturers will only be producing 100% electric cars in the next few years. Has the government considered the massive increase in demand for electricity to charge these cars, replacing the enormous amount of energy currently supplied by petrol and diesel? And it's reasonable to expect most cars will be plugged into the grid in the evening and when the domestic demand is already peak and the sun is going down and the breeze has dropped out for the night. Considering coal-fired baseload power stations are being closed around the country as electric car sales are expected to dramatically increase, how will the huge increase in demand for electricity be addressed?
Well, the first point on Graham, I'm being here on the Central Coast. I'm really pleased to be doing that. Came up on the North Connects this morning, which is great, and to see that in place now. And we're out there with Lucy today, opening the new Newcastle University Clinical School and Medical Research Institute, and some $75 million. And we're going to see local doctors and specialist surgeons. The reality of that is going to happen here in the Central Coast, and you can see it there now. I did the groundbreaking 5 years ago, and that is now a reality here on the Central Coast, and there are many other projects. When we came here tonight, Lucy, I noticed across the road is the Commonwealth Public Service building that was built here and has brought hundreds and hundreds of extra jobs in here in the Gosford CBD, which is transforming. But to come to your point on electric vehicles, Graham, I have a different view about how quickly that's going to change going forward, because under our policies, I'm not forcing anybody to drive anything. If you want to drive one and buy one, good for you. That's great. I think that's your choice. If you don't want to drive one, that's fine. Keep driving the car you've got. Buy one that's like it, if that's what you want to do. Because our policy when it comes to emissions reduction is about choice, not mandates. It's not about taxes, it's about technology. And the technology will move at the pace of the consumers and what they want. And the consumers who want that will pay for it. And I'm not about to be subsidising those costs. I mean, if you buy an electric vehicle, you don't pay fuel excise for a start. So there is already an inbuilt advantage of going down that path if that's what you want to do. But my opponent, the Labor Party, Anthony Albanese, said that he is going to encourage electric vehicles by abolishing the import tariffs on them. There aren't any import tariffs on electric vehicles. That's what comes when you haven't done a budget before and you've never had a financial portfolio. They're the sort of things you don't know. It helps. But when it comes to the electricity grid system itself and the baseload power, well, it's similar to the answer I gave before. You've got to keep your coal-fired power stations running as long as you possibly can. You need to have gas in the system to back that up, because we will see coal-fired power stations reach the end of their natural life. That will happen. That will happen.
My point is that inevitably we'll be driving electric cars, whether it's in 3 years' time or 5 years' time or 10 years' time.
I think it's more the latter end of that, to be honest.
It may still be, but we'll need to have the power to charge these things.
Yeah, and that's why we've invested $21 billion ensuring that not only we're getting the baseload power that continues to come through things like gas and these types of resources, and take what we've been able to do already in ensuring we get replacement for some of the stations that have gone out. And we all remembered what happened when Hazelwood went out. I'm concerned about now Araring is going out, and we want to see replacement for that reliable, affordable capacity here in the Central Coast. Now, we backed that up last time by going ahead and ensuring we build a gas-fired power station at Kurri Kurri, which the Labor Party was against, then they were for, and then they decided to change it so it would cost twice as much to build. That's not a good policy. What we've done is we went, OK, that needs to happen. We told the energy companies, if you don't build it, we will. Because, we're not mugs. We know that energy companies make more money by there being less power, right? Yeah. So we made sure there was more power. And so we weren't going to allow an investment decision which said, well, we won't build it and therefore we'll just take the higher prices that come with that. Angus Taylor did a great job on this. We said, work with Snowy Hydro. They're building it. That will be breaking ground very, very soon. So we problem solve to deal with those issues, but our preference is for the private energy companies to go and ensure that they're replacing coal-fired power plants which reach the end of their economic life with reliable, affordable power to address the very needs that you've talked about. Energy consumption, though, how much energy people use, has remained pretty constant for some time now and, in fact, has dipped. And so getting the investment in that is obviously a challenge, but that's why we've been stepping up in the way we have.